Alright, so I have another Thomas Wooden Railway collection video for you guys. This is going to be the second one on my channel. I previously did one in July of last year in 2024, but the channel has grown since then. Different audiences have come to see my videos for one reason or another. But my collection has also grown, and I feel like once or twice within 1 year for a growing collection is a good number of times to post a video like this. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not going to remember every single year of these engines. I just don't. I've had them for a long time now, so I just don't remember. Here we have a 96 Thomas. I believe this is a 98 out of Puff Thomas that came with the Thomas and Birdie's Great Race story set. This is the 60th anniversary Thomas Edward, the Tired Out Expression Edward that came with the Edward the Great set. This is a 1992-1993 Henry, not the very first version. Then we have a 2003 Henry, Gordon, 1996 James, Percy. Then we have Toby, 1994 Round Roof Duck, 1996 Donald. Then we have a later version of Douglas, 1998 Oliver. Then we have a 92 Boko with the gray roof. And then we have a 92 Daisy. And it's funny, just take a look at the different shades of their faces. Boko's face is incredibly worn compared to Daisy's. Both from the same year. Then we have Diesel. And as you can tell, my engines are pretty dusty, pretty dirty. Because before I moved into this apartment, I was filming videos in a basement, and so my collection was in the basement, getting very dusty. So none of these engines are cleaned, but it's kind of cool. Then we have an old style Stepney, Mavis, Bill and Ben. Then we have the incredibly overpriced 2013 Flying Scotsman. This Scotsman model is going for even more money on eBay than the 1999 version, which is just crazy. But it's good for me because I am wanting to get the 1999 version in my collection to have both. So it's kind of good that sellers are focusing on this version and not so much the older one. Then we have Neil and Derek, Diesel 261. Mattel Salty, which I definitely want to swap out for the original Salty, who I think looks much better. This Mattel face just looks goofy. I don't like it. Then we have Harvey. Surprise Face Spencer that came with the Edward the Great set as well. Then we have another Spencer, Murdoch, Arthur, the Season 7 crew here. Arian Burt on the end, awkwardly. So those are my standard gauge engines, diesels and steam engines. Now we're going on to the narrow gauge fleet. Again, I do not remember the years, so I'll do my best. I believe this is a 97 Rheneas. Then we have a Scarloey, 97 Sir Handel, I believe. Then we have the mid-2000s re-releases of Sir Handel and Peter Sam. And you can see how dusty these engines are. It kind of looks cool, though. It looks like they've been hard at work. Then I believe this is a 97 Duke. Then we have a White Roof Rusty from around 1995. This is not the original White Roof Rusty, which I really want to get. That version has the smaller black front. It looks much better than this version. Then we have Duncan, Bertram, and then Ivo Hugh, who I think is incredibly underrated. A very good-looking Thomas Wooden Railway model. It's just too bad he came with the frickin' zoo cars. But those are my narrow gauge engines. As you can tell, I really don't have any, well, not any, but I don't have a lot of the Hit era characters or Mattel era characters. That's just how it is. I definitely want to add on to my collection of standard gauge engines. I want to get Dennis, Neville, Molly, Hank. I had all those characters as a kid, but I've been rebuilding it throughout the years as I pretty much sold everything a long time ago. So we've been rebuilding slowly and just being picky about which engines I have in my collection, but definitely staying away from the CGI era. Then we have Annie Clarabelle, Henrietta, the Express coaches, and then the Knapford Express coach, which I don't believe was in my previous collection video, so that's brand new, I think. Then Old Slow coach, the Mail coach, Duke and Duchess's coach, which is definitely brand new for this collection video, along with everything that came with that Edward the Great set. Then we have 2 gray Troublesome trucks, very classic. The original Troublesome brake van. Old style Toad. This one does not have the backwards magnets though. I did repaint this roof. And then we have the NW Spiteful brake van. Fred the orange coal car. And then new for this collection video as well is this mid-2000s re-release of Scruffy. I sold the old version of Scruffy that was beat up, and I got this version off eBay. Then we have the Mattel Giggling Troublesome trucks, 2 Tidmouth milk tankers, a Sodor fuel tanker. Then we have the Tarn Sodor fuel tankers that came together, and then we have 2 Sodor cargo cars. These scrap cars that came with Bertram, the barrel car that came with the barrel loader, the Duke and Duchess's furniture car. Then we have these zoo cars that came with Ivo Q. Definitely a weird and bad choice. And then we have 2 law cars. This first one is actually Henry's Forest law car. It comes with different logs than the second one, which is the Sawmill law car that comes with the Sawmill and Dumping Depot. So these 2 trucks are different. And then we have the red Sodor line caboose, the old style breakdown train, which I'm considering getting rid of and buying one that's in better condition. Then we have the Sodor fire train, and then Ada, Jane, and Mabel, which I never had as a kid. And I'm very glad that I have now for my narrow gauge engines to pull around. So those are all of my pieces of rolling stock, coaches, troublesome trucks, brake vans, miscellaneous pieces. One more category to cover, my roadway vehicles. So here we have Birdie the Bus. Then we have the original 1992 Terrence. Black wheels and the treads, mint condition, very nice. Then we have a 1994 Terrence without the treads, sadly. That would make for a very fun review. And then Harold the helicopter. George the steamroller, and then we have Lorry 1. Now, I really do want to get Lorry 2 and Lorry 3, but they are very expensive. And as I was saying with the Flying Scotsman, sellers are selling them for so much money. They are not trying to be fair at all whatsoever. Then we have the Sodor Bay tugboat, and then Caroline the car, Sir Topham Hatt's car, Elizabeth the vintage steam truck. Then we have the Sodor fire truck, old style Trevor, and then Butch the breakdown vehicle. So those are all of my roadway vehicles. Now you may think this collection video is over, but I do want to show you one more thing. Now I did show off this display case in my previous Thomas Wooden Railway layout video, so go and check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. But I do have some Thomas Wooden Railway items in the box, not out of their packaging and in my storage containers. So they're just sitting on this display case. So here we have Diesel 10, these Sodortronic clay cars, Splodge, Splatter, and Dodge. And then we have some other items as well, such as Talking Railway Series Stanley, The Adventures of Thomas, and then we have the 10 Years in America Special Edition release, brand new in the box, which I've done a review on back in the day. And then I also have these Talking Railway engines down here, James, Thomas, and Percy, and then just some other items from Thomas Horton Railway. So that is going to be it for today's video. As always, I do want to thank you guys for watching. And if my collection does grow a good amount after this video, and I do get some hit era characters, for example, or just some other pieces from this line, I will do another collection video in about 6 months or so. So, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.